Hello everyone, this is Christina Wallace again. I hope you had a good weekend, and today we're going to be looking at the second part of making our cornflower. Last week we have made all the little parts for this flower, and I have run you through on how I chose to tone this flower, to add color to it, and what difficulties I have run into while trying to mix color for this flower. Thank you to all of you who has followed the link below and signed up with Skillshare's free trial. If for this reason or another this is the first time you hear me mentioning Skillshare on this channel, Skillshare is an online learning platform which offers over 25,000 courses on all sorts of subjects to all sorts of people, but millions of subscribers all over the world. And of course, for us flower crafters, it could be a source of invaluable knowledge, invaluable indirect knowledge to make our own color mixing courses. There are courses on composition, on photography, on business and art, all sorts of things. And so Skillshare is sponsoring this very video you're watching, making it possible, and it's offering my viewers 2 months completely free trial to be able to tap into all the knowledge and inspiration that Skillshare has to offer, obligation free. And then if you decide to sign up, it's less than $10 a month on the basis of annual subscription. So if you want to go have a look and check it out, you absolutely should. There is no reason why you wouldn't want to try out this wonderful offer. And now we're going to part 2 and going to do the glorious assembly of cornflower. It's always a nice moment when you've put all the hard work in and assemble. It's a break. So here we have thin floral tape. You need to pull it like this to activate the glue. If you can have it thinner, it would be even better for this purpose. I think I don't have a tape cutter and I'm not very good at tearing it into 2 from this size. So this is very fiddly, or at least I have always found this assembly process very fiddly, especially if smaller elements come into play. You might be different, but maybe because I have these giant hands, I have no idea. But in any case, so if you find it fiddly, don't be surprised, you're not alone, and just keep taping it. Try not to overdo on tape. I mean, if you've seen any of my larger flower tutorials, you will remember perhaps that I recommend covering individual strands in tape, and then they're much easier to assemble. But in this case, it would be too thick, I think. And so here we go. So it's 1 layer. I did play with the idea of having 2 layers, or maybe second layer intermittent as in this picture. But no, 1 layer is fine, seeing that the petals themselves, the little flowers on the side, they are quite exaggerated. They're slightly bigger than in nature, perhaps. I don't know. So I'm just going to keep it kind of simple. I do like certain simplicity. I don't know, would you call this a simplicity? I don't know. But anyway, so back to our assembly drill. When you assemble, make sure, just like with larger flowers, make sure you check your flower from all the angles over and over again each single time to make sure that you like the way it looks. Now I kept adding extra flowers to this layer because I kind of had them. I had over 20 little blue flowers and over 20 little middle teeny flowers, and so I had spares. And I wanted to use them because they were so time consuming to make. But actually I ended up removing one of the spares because it just looked a bit odd and random. So sometimes there could be too much of a good thing. And to me this is more or less good. So here, look, that one that sticks out. I don't know if you could see it. But yeah, I have removed it at the end. And now we're going to work on a remarkably beautiful this little cup that holds this flower. So if you make this flower more than once, then you would hopefully avoid making little wires visible, the wires that hold individual flowers. You will probably spot it, but yeah, in this case I wasn't paying attention to that. And again, this is probably the easiest way to cut out little, what are they, calyx petals, whatever they are, for the base of this flower. I tried to do it freehand, but it didn't quite work. Now this is after drying the individual pieces for about 5-10 minutes. They're just easier manageable then, hold shape better. And then use your bent scissors and turn it this way round, away from the petal. That way the shape of the cutout works out a little bit better. I think then the little strands kind of start facing away as opposed to go along with the flow. I hope that makes sense anyway. So see, I'm turning the scissors again for the other side so they face away again. I've done it for rose calyx as well. I don't know if you remember it, if you've seen that video. And so now I'm going to just measure it up, see that it all looks proper. And you know, you could just leave it unpainted, the edges of this little scaly parts. Now I'm going to use edible paint, not because that's what you should do, but because I don't have brown in oil, and I think I've had enough of mixing for the time being. So I'm just using the easy way out, just to show the effect of painted little parts. I think it looks quite nice, could be done a little bit neater, but all in all I quite like the effect for the first time. And then yeah, use oil or just skip it altogether. So once the glue is on, I am starting to apply them around the base of the calyx. Hopefully this gives you enough of an idea. Sorry, sometimes my camera hides what I'm doing, but what I'm trying to aim for is to establish a nice, very straight and lovely looking top line. So I do a top layer, and then in chess manner I alternate the second layer in between the gaps of the top layer, so the chessboard style. And the bottom I am not as concerned about. You can always cut them down to make the bottom line quite neat as well, but here I'm just going to add a bit of clay at the end and hopefully smoothen it out. Now before I do that, I'm just adding finishing touches to the toning at the bottom, just really so that if someone does look at the bottom of your flower, it looks a little bit neater. Plus I've removed that extra petal that I've decided not to use, but it's not really that important. I've just decided that it didn't look very symmetrical if you look from a side. So that was my final decision, to remove it and keep it 100% one layer of petals. And here we go, do exactly what we did when we laid down the base, but I'm just trying to blend in our little leafy petals, whatever they are, calyxes, pieces of calyx, with the main stem. And I'm not going to be able to film the bit where I add a bit of toning to the stem itself to kind of make it continuous with the toning of the calyx itself. So I'm going to leave it to your imagination, hopefully you'll figure it out. I'm just going to take a picture of the final result, and this brush is amazing also to make a finish really nice. So under toning you won't be able to see what was going on. And this is me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some ideas on how to make flowers, some elements of flowers, or just inspiration to make a cornflower itself. I will hopefully see you next week. Have fun, subscribe if you haven't already, and all the best for now.